नमस्ते। मैं हूं राहुल और आप देख रहे हैं मेरा रुख। आज के पर्थ टेस्ट मैच के डे फर्स्ट के डे एंड रिव्यू पे आप सबका स्वागत है। और क्या अमेजिंग टेस्ट मैच का डे वन था, राइट फ्रॉम फर्स्ट बॉल टू द लास्ट बॉल ऑफ द डे। 17 विकेट्स एक दिन में वहां पर गिरे और क्या बॉलिंग परफॉर्मेंस रही दोनों टीम की तरफ से, अमेजिंग। इसी चीज पे बात करने के लिए हमारे साथ जो हमारी टीम है, जो इस पूरे बॉर्डर गावस्कर ट्रॉफी पर जुड़ी रहेगी, अनूप और लेवी। आज अनफॉर्चुनेटली किसी रीजन से सिद्धार्थ नहीं ज्वाइन कर पाए, अदरवाइज वो भी हमें इन फ्यूचर ज्वाइन करेंगे। सो अनूप एंड लेवी, आप दोनों का बहुत बहुत स्वागत। और आई एम श्योर आप दोनों ने भी पूरा मैच देखा होगा और जस्ट वुड लाइक टू नो योर व्यू, अनूप।
It so that the अगर आप देखोगे तो the one of the big reasons for the day that went by was the quality of the pitch, right? So अगर आपको
राइट।
याद है तो when we had this chat yesterday about the preview show, uh, I was mentioning, right, that the pitch is expected to be spicier than all the previous pitches that has happened at the Optus Stadium, because the Optus Stadium has dished out, like absolutely odd pitches where like too much runs have come, and that doesn't suit the reputation of Perth. Right, Perth has always been a very fast track, and it is wonderful to see the curator has actually kept whatever he said, that he will give a whatever very spicy kind of pitch, right? And that pitch has resulted in an absolutely enthralling day, right? So what it also shows you is that you can give a good quality pitch, and like the match can be as interesting as ever, right? You don't need low quality pitches to actually get things moving. So the pitch is one of the major reasons, I would say, कि आज का जो दिन है एकदम first class था, and like the day was wonderful. And obviously it also shows that the batting quality of both the sides is not as great, right? So I mean, in the morning India was, to be honest, very very poor in the morning session, and Australia actually ensured that they can match them to the poor quality of batting. But the pitch itself is very bowler friendly, and you have a very good bowling attack on both sides. Australia have Cummins, Stark, and Hazelwood, and India have Bumrah and Harshit Rana, and Siraj really backed him very very well, which meant that both bowling sides had a good pitch to bowl on, and both batting sides were a big struggle. So, yeah.
बराबर। सो लेवी जी, एक एक टॉप लेवल पे आपका दिन भर का एनालिसिस क्या था? कैसे आपने इस पूरे मैच को देखा, रिव्यू किया, आपके थॉट्स?
नहीं, मैंने तो बड़े मज़े से देखा था। मेरा मेरा व्यू अनूप जी से थोड़ा-सा मुख्तलिफ और थोड़ा डिफरेंट होगा। द वे आई सॉ दिस मैच इज़ डेफिनिटली जब इंडिया के कैप्टन बुमराह जब टॉस जीते और उन्होंने वो पिच को देखा, ग्रीन टॉप है, गुड गुड कैरी होगा, उसके अंदर बाउंस होगा। इट वाज़ अ चैलेंजिंग एंड स्पाइसी विकेट। पर उसने वो चैलेंज उसने लिया and he decided to bat first. That was a very courageous decision in my view. First of all, up there to take on the bowling, especially in the beginning of a series, on a spicy wicket. As Anupji said, Hazelwood, Stark, Cummins, and all of these top-notch, fresh, raring to go on Australian pitches, which is Perth, it was the ideal setup for the Australians to go in and knock the Indians off. And I think to a lot of big extent, they were very successful in putting India under a lot of pressure. And I think we were also, I think, for 50 odd for five or around that much. So they were successful as, but हमारा जो मिडिल ऑर्डर ना थोड़ा ज्यादा खेल गया. I think our batsmen, middle order batsmen, in the context of the game, have come through. If you look at the way things stand today, so my analysis of the whole day is that um, the pitch was spicy. The quality of the bowling was very good. However, मेरा जो एनालिसिस है, अगर आपने इंडिया की बॉलिंग देखी एज कंपेयर टू ऑस्ट्रेलिया की बॉलिंग, apart from this one outstanding bowler Bumrah, we had nothing much to show. Siraj was out of form, as you've seen, for the longest time. He is very low on confidence. He hasn't been producing a lot of wickets for at least a year. और दूसरे तो bowlers तो नए हैं. Hardly if you look at all the number of tests. So that's what I'm saying. My analysis would be very different from Anuj's because if you compare man for man for the bowling attack, we were literally nothing to show apart from Bumrah, and Bumrah was the game changer, right? So if you really compare, right, our middle order performed a little bit better. Now their middle order, they're already 7 down. They've got the last pair, so to speak, batting. Now we'll see how they bat tomorrow. बट उनके बाद पीछे तो सारे लोअर ऑर्डर हैं. ठीक है, तो दिस रिमेन्स टू बी सीन, राइट. वी ऑलरेडी लॉस्ट 10 विकेट्स, दे हैव लॉस्ट 7 विकेट्स. बट आई थिंक ऑस्ट्रेलियन बैटिंग which was uh, which was coming in very strong with Marsh in the middle order. You got Labuschagne, Smith, all these nami grami log who came with a very high confidence, and looking to basically knock over the Indians, or from a batting perspective. I think they were found out and they were literally struggling on this pitch. The one that memorable face I could not forget was right towards the end of the day when Bumrah was bowling to Cummins. He had literally, I wish I could. What I will do is, for the next one, I'll grab a picture from from KO of his exact face. Literally, you could see the sheer terror on his face, and that was 2 balls before he got out. Literally, so I will send a picture and you can share that. So that is the kind of terror the Australian batsmen faced, and you could make out they were very uncomfortable facing the Indian bowlers, especially Bumrah. Right. So that's my analysis that Australia, yeah, they went in big and strong and hefty and all this, but really their batting was found out, and yeah, their bowling performed decently well. But in the context of the game, they are around 83 or runs behind. In the context of the game, it's a big margin. So I just wanted to say that.
राइट. एंड आई थिंक जब जब टॉस हुआ सुबह, और जब टॉस होने के बाद में जसप्रीत बुमराह ने बैटिंग करने का डिसीजन लिया, दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम आई वाज रियली शॉक कि कंसिडरिंग द पिच एंड सिचुएशन कि ये क्या कर रहे हैं. और एट द एंड ऑफ द डे हम डिसीजन को करेजस या फिर स्मार्ट या फिर बड़ा ही स्टूपिड, ये हम उसके रिजल्ट के बेसिस पे हम लोग कह सकते हैं. बट आज का जो डे एंड का रिजल्ट या डे एंड को जो हम कंक्लूड कर रहे हैं, उस कंक्लूजन के साथ में हम उस डिसीजन को एक करेजियस डिसीजन कह सकते हैं, क्योंकि इट टर्न आउट टू बी इन इंडियाज फेवर एज ऑफ नाउ. बट जो बॉलिंग परफॉर्मेंस दोनों टीम की तरफ से रही, वो एक टॉप क्लास परफॉर्मेंस रही, और बैटिंग परफॉर्मेंस दोनों ही टीम की तरफ से एक बिलो पार रही. ऐसा नहीं कि उस अच्छी बॉलिंग के अगेंस्ट अच्छी बैटिंग नहीं की जा सकती थी. वो चीज ध्रुव जुरेल के 2 शॉट से हमको देखने को मिली, जो उन्होंने एक कवर ड्राइव भी मारा और एक उन्होंने पॉइंट की तरफ पंच किया. ही एग्जैक्टली शोज कि कैसे बॉल को मिडिल करके मारा जाता है, बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली ही निक और वो आउट हो गए. उसी तरीके से ऋषभ पंत ने भी उनके थोड़े से स्टाइल में खेला, पर एट द एंड जो भी 150 रन बने, वो मेरे ख्याल से इंडियन बॉलिंग जो है अभी, उसके हिसाब से अभी के कंडीशन में एक ठीक ठाक थोड़े से दिख रहे हैं, क्योंकि कंसिडरिंग दी सिचुएशन वेयर द मैच स्टैंड्स. बट यस, जो जसप्रीत बुमराह की बात कही, ही इज सिंपली आउटस्टैंडिंग. अगर दोनों टीम में से देखा जाए और एक पिक ऑफ द बॉलर किया जाए, तो ही इज जसप्रीत बुमराह. ही कैन deviate or seam the ball from same position, एक बार इधर और एक बार उधर. तो लिटरली जो बैट्समैन बैटिंग कर रहे थे, जो वो नए जो ओपनर है ऑस्ट्रेलिया के, ही वॉज लिटरली क्लूलेस कि कौन सी बॉल बाहर जाएगी और कौन सी बॉल अंदर आएगी. जिस बॉल पे वो एलबीडब्ल्यू आउट हुए, लिटरली यू कैन सी द गैप जहां पे उनका बैट था और जहां बॉल लगी, इतना बड़ा गैप था उसके अंदर. So he was not sure कि बॉल अंदर आएगी या बाहर जाएगी. सिमिलरली स्मिथ जो आउट हुआ, वो भी बहुत आउटस्टैंडिंग बॉल पे आउट हुआ. तो जो बॉलिंग उन्होंने करी, वो बहुत अमेजिंग बॉलिंग थी. लिटरली एक और चीज जो हर्षित राणा की हम लोग बात कर रहे थे, जो उन्होंने बॉल डाला, और ट्रेविस हेड को आउट किया। सिर्फ इतना से डिविएट हुआ बॉल और आधा इंच डिविएशन काफी था उसके बैट को मिस करके स्टंप को क्लिक करने के लिए। एंड
सॉरी
सुपर।
सॉरी सॉरी, बैट को लगा, उसके बैट को
हाँ
आउटसाइड
बैट
एज लगा और फिर स्टंप को लगा।
राइट।
दैट
सो
वाज
वो
पेस, द स्पीड ऑफ द बॉल, या
राइट। सो इट वाज अमेजिंग, सुपर्ब डिसमिसल। आई एम श्योर अब ये चीज जो मेरा एक शुरू में अंदाजा था कि ये 2-2 के आसपास रहेगा, बट ये कहीं ना कहीं पूरे 5 मैचों में रिजल्ट हमें देखने को मिलेगा। कोई भी मैच अनलेस कोई वेदर कंडीशन ऐसी हो जाती है तो कोई ड्रॉ नहीं होने वाला, पर 5 मैचेस में हमको रिजल्ट मिलेगा और बड़ा ही अच्छा टेस्ट मैच देखने को मिलेगा। अनूप, बैटिंग जो दोनों टीम की रही, क्या वाकई में मतलब भारत की तरफ से विराट कोहली भी खेले, ऑस्ट्रेलिया की तरफ से स्टीव स्मिथ खेले, दोनों ही एकदम ऑफ द शेड दिखे, क्लूलेस दिखे एक अच्छी बॉलिंग के अगेंस्ट। तो क्या इनके क्लास के भी ऊपर बॉलिंग परफॉर्मेंस चल रही थी या फिर ये अपने क्लास के नीचे अभी परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं?
नहीं, अगर आप देखोगे तो it is the quality of bowling, right? Even if you take let's take Virat Kohli, right? अगर आप, I don't know if you noticed, Virat Kohli was actually standing very much ahead of where he normally stands, right? The reason he was trying to do that was to essentially avoid the away going delivery, which has been unka sabse zyada problem. If you look at the New Zealand series as well, has been balls where he's always got caught over, on an away going delivery, right? So he's essentially lunging forward to play the ball, which is resulting in his wickets. So उन्होंने क्या किया to change a little bit, he has actually moved a little forward, and ताकि उनका जो normal back and across movement जो होता है, right? He generally moves before he actually plays, so it gets him more in line with the ball. तो उन्होंने वो एक्चुअली टेक्निकल चेंज भी किया है टू एंश्योर दैट ही कैन वर्क थ्रू दैट। बट हेजलवुड का जो बॉल था दैट वाज अ पिच ऑफ अ बॉल, बिकॉज उन्होंने नोटिस किया कि विराट इज एक्चुअली वेरी मच फॉरवर्ड एंड ही इज एक्चुअली यूजिंग अ कंप्लीटली डिफरेंट स्टैंस। तो अगर आपने सारा देखा तो ही हैड एक्चुअली सेट हिम अप वेरी वेल with
Right.
balls that were like going straight forward, normal balls which were either going away or coming in. And the ball that he bowled was a typical ball that was on the bounce. So it's essentially like half a bouncer right at almost at his shoulder height, which is a very difficult bouncer to play. And because Rohit, Kohli was very much
Right.
forward, right, with his stance, he actually ended up nicking it. So अगर आप देखोगे तो that was a very well planned dismissal. Even if you look at the batting overall, right, Yashasvi Jaiswal played a shot very early in the innings. He wasn't up to the pitch of the ball when he edged it. The one down batsman, I think, who was it? Who came
Devdutt
down?
Padikkal.
Padikkal. Devdutt Padikkal looked clueless, right? I mean, I don't know if you watched the batting. He absolutely didn't know exactly which way the ball was seaming. Virat Kohli, we all just spoke about, right? The others who came in as well, and all those people essentially played the ball a lot earlier than what you are supposed to play in Perth.
Right.
In Perth, you are supposed to be a lot more closer to the ball, watch it very, very well before you can, make the decision. और आपने कहा कि taking bowling was a very, batting was a very odd decision, right? It is not. Off late in Perth, in the Optus Stadium, a lot of teams have actually preferred to take batting because generally क्या होता है कि पहले 1-2 घंटा the pitch has got all that spice, and because वहाँ पे sun बहुत ज़्यादा है तो the heat generally tends to take off a lot of the moisture away, and the pitch becomes a little bit more easier to bat in the second innings or the later part of the day. अगर आपने नोटिस किया तो इंडिया की तरफ से the best player on display was Nitish Kumar Reddy, right? Because he got the highest amount of score along with Rishabh Pant, but he got the highest amount of score and he looked very, very good. He was also playing towards the later half of the day, right? So essentially the expectation was that the team who wins the toss may opt for batting as long as you can weather that storm. But obviously with the kind of batting attack we had and the kind of bowling they had, it was always going to be a challenge. I think 150 which they managed to get was courtesy of whatever like Rishabh Pant and Nitish Kumar Reddy managed to get through there. But yes, the bowling is the difference, right? Even agar aap dekhoge, just to add to what Levi said, right? Siraj actually bowled pretty well because for him to be able to get those 2 wickets, agar Bumrah, if Bumrah is the only bowler who's going to do, probably he's going to struggle, right? Because एक ही बॉलर के साथ आप मैच नहीं जीत पाओगे, irrespective
Right.
how good a bowler you are. So I think
Absolutely.
Siddharth, given the form he came in, did a very good job in that sense. Come the form he came in, Harshit Rana was a very bold call. I mean, I think picking him in the squad itself was a very different decision. Most people thought that it would be like Akashdeep given the
Akashdeep.
form and the the fact that like he would probably play in. So the choice of Harshit Rana was a very left field choice. But I think the young man bowled very well, right? I mean, the ball to Travis Head was good. He was a very feisty character as well. Like in Australia, you need feisty characters, Rahul and Devi. Like you cannot have like normal characters. You need those feisty kind of characters who will get onto the skin of the Australian batsman if you want to perform here. And I think Marnus Labusheng was a major disappointment, right? He tried to do what
Hmm.
Gujarat did successfully in the last two, Border Gavaskar Trophy, but I think that is not the kind of role that suits him very well. And he looked absolutely at sea, right? Of all the players who played, I think he looked absolutely at sea. And he was lucky that Kohli dropped him at zero, but usse kuch
Right.
farak to nahi pada because he ended up playing another 45 balls to get another 2 runs only. Okay, so it didn't make too much of a difference. But all in all, it was a bowler's paradise in the sense, if you ask
Hmm.
me. And it is
Right.
good to see a pitch where the pacemen dominate, because I think that's good to see. It's always good to
Hmm.
see good fast bowlers do very well. But it'll be good. It'll be
Right.
important to see how does India play the second day, right? Because even though they are at 70 for 7 or something like that, you still need to get the lower
Uh,
order out. And in India and most other teams have always struggled getting the lower order out. So
hmm.
hopefully, they do well, and they get a bit of lead, which will help you, because any amount of lead, even 10-run lead on this pitch is going to make a big difference, because the second innings is going to be tougher. And I don't think the batting attack of India is going to make too much of a dent into big scores.
Right.
If they can
So,
get Australia all out by say 80 or 90, good chance for them in the next innings.
right. सो लेवी ऐसी 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 कंडीशन में बैटिंग करने के पर्सपेक्टिव से देखें तो क्या पिच पे के ऊपर जितना समय आप बिताएं, जितना क्लोज टू द बॉडी खेलें, जितना बॉल को ध्यान से देखें, उतना ज्यादा बेहतर, या फिर आप अपने नेचुरल गेम शॉट्स खेलें और फिर क्या क्या अप्रोच उनकी?
एक्सेलेंट क्वेश्चन। आई थिंक अगर हमने जितने बैट्समैन देखे, जैसे मैंने मुझे केएल राहुल का जो टेक्निक लगा इस पिच के ऊपर, वो मुझे लगा आइडियल टेक्निक है टू डू वेल ऑन दिस पिच। इफ यू लुक एट, जैसे अनु भाई कह रहे थे पहले, जो यशस्वी जायसवाल का जो विकेट गया एंड द वे ही वाज प्लेइंग राइट फ्रॉम द वेरी बिगिनिंग, फर्स्ट बॉल टिल ही गॉट आउट, ही वाज प्लेइंग वेरी अर्ली। ठीक है, ही वाज
हम्म।
बैट वाज वे अहेड एंड ही वाज ट्राइंग टू गेट टू द बॉल एंड ही वाज ओवरडूइंग इट। If you notice KL Rahul, he was waiting for the ball and he played very late. He was waiting for the ball. His eye was above the ball when he made contact, and he let the ball come to him, and then he made the decision to play late. I think that is what I guess the secret of his success was, but also led to his downfall in very unfortunate circumstances. The on-field umpire did not give it out, and I didn't
राइट।
think, in my personal views, that there wasn't enough evidence to overturn it. When you overturn a decision, the evidence has to be overwhelming, right? There was a clear hit from the bat to the uh, pads, you could make out. And even if it is at the simultaneous, you cannot make out the difference, but the visual evidence suggests that it clearly, the bat hit the pad. On that basis itself, you need to stick with the on-field umpire's decision of not giving it out. I just feel that to overturn a decision, you need to have irrefutable proof. Anyway, that's my opinion. But his technique was fabulous, and he looked the most comfortable. I mean, I don't think Australians were looking to get, were even close to getting him out. So, so I think the key to this wicket is anyone who plays adapts their technique. Test cricket is all about adapting yourself. The quickest a player adapts to the environment and the pitch, they will be very successful, and the smart players and the most successful players are able to adapt on the go, and that's what a successful player is. And I'm hoping that lessons learned from the first innings, if the Indian players show that adaptability, I think they would do really well. And remember, Australia's player going to bat the last. So yeah.
Last, right. So Anup, what we can reckon, हम लोग क्या अब यहाँ से डे 2 डे 3, क्योंकि ये पूरे 5 दिन तो मैच नहीं होने वाला, आई एम श्योर ये
अच्छा,
थर्ड डे एंड होते होते ये मैच खत्म हो जाएगा. सो व्हाट वी कैन
आईपीएल के
एक्सपेक्ट,
पहले खत्म हो
राइट,
जाएगा.
सो व्हाट वी कैन एक्सपेक्ट फ्रॉम डे 2.
Day two, I think, is going to be interesting. If India continue to bowl well and they are able to get the 3 wickets faster, then it opens up the match very well for them. Because I think India, if you ask the two teams who will sleep better, it would definitely be India, because of the fact that they have got 7 wickets and they still have about 80 runs ka lead, right, as of today, right? If you take like that, so India would be the team that would sleep lot better. It will all depend on how much Australia will get at the start of play. If India manage to get them bundled out very fast, then it opens up the game, allows India to like dominate from there and make the call. And obviously, any sort of on this pitch, agar ye pitch aise hi continue karega, to even a score of 150 is going to be very difficult to chase in the third innings, right?
Right.
So if India goes in with say a lead of 60 or 70, let's just take 60 runs, right? 20 runs में Australia का बाकी 3 wicket गिरा, तो India goes in with a lead of around say 60 runs, and you are even able to make 140 runs more. Okay, you are giving them a target of 200 in a second innings on this pitch, which is going to be a difficult task. So it will all boil down to how India finish that innings tomorrow, and then bat decently enough. If they bat decently enough also on this pitch, they should be able to get a score that can be challenging for an Australian team. It's not that they can't get that, but it will be challenging for the Australian team. I think another important aspect of today's game was, both the two big stars did not have a good day, right? Neither Virat Kohli did anything. Steve Smith never got ahead as well. So it's 1-1 in terms of the two big stars who are expected to, like either come out of their form slump and, start performing. So at least, like both sides did not have to worry कि कौन सा star ऊपर आया, दोनों star ने कुछ नहीं किया.
Right. So Levi, what's your thought about day 2?
No, it's pretty similar to what Anup Bhai said, that it all depends on the first hour of the day tomorrow. If India is able to bowl, get back to the radar, and Bumrah obviously is very dependable, and that's where India will breathe a sigh of relief that they've got a caliber of world class, the world number one kind of bowler, who's they have is like an armory in the repertoire to unleash on the Australians again tomorrow first thing. And mind you, the the batsmen who are there are not your top order batsmen. They are lower order. You've got Mitchell Stark, who is will be first hour is going to be always, it's always dodgy to play out the first so the sooner they get them out, Australia will be under a lot of pressure. And like I said, on this pitch, every run is gold dust. So between anything between 50 runs, I would say 50 runs to 80 runs would be ideal for India, right? But then they also need to, as I mentioned again, mark my words, adaptability is very important. The batsman who quickly learns from their mistakes, I'm talking about both sides, right? And adapts and make those important changes to score a decent amount of runs. I don't expect him to score any big runs on this pitch, but even like a 40-50 will go a long way in getting their side a bit ahead of the opposition. So tomorrow is a very exciting day. And I said this test is turning out to be a very interesting and wonderful test match. So yeah, it's mouth watering proposition for tomorrow.
एब्सोल्युटली. और जाते जाते मैं एक लास्ट चीज कहना चाहूंगा कि स्पिन खेलना भी एक आर्ट है, स्विंग बॉलिंग खेलना भी आर्ट है, और सीम और बाउंसी बॉलिंग खेलना भी एक आर्ट है. अगर यही 17 विकेट भारत में किसी स्पिनिंग ट्रैक पर गिरे होते तो बड़ा आवाज उठ जाती कि यार पिच कितनी खराब है. पर नहीं, जिस तरीके से आप इंग्लैंड के अंदर एक दिन में अगर 15 विकेट गिरते हैं, अगर ऑस्ट्रेलिया में एक दिन में 17 विकेट गिरते हैं, तो भारत में भी अगर एक दिन में 10 विकेट, 12 विकेट, 15 विकेट गिरे स्पिनिंग ट्रैक पे, तो वो भी कोई गलत नहीं है, क्योंकि स्पिन खेलना भी उतना ही बड़ा आर्ट है जितना बड़ा आर्ट पेस और बाउंसी पिचेस के ऊपर खेलना और इंग्लैंड में स्विंग बॉलिंग को खेलना। तो
Agree, Rahul, but I'll give you a couple of pointers. This topic is like always been the case, right? It's always the fact that agar ek pacey which hai, or like nobody complains, but if there's a spinning track, people complain. To a certain extent, that is correct because of the fact that like that is how the general feeling is. But जब आप एक spinning track बनाते हो आप, it's a rank turner as we call it, right? A pitch that starts turning from ball one. उस pitch में 2-3 और problem होते हैं. The pitch will be of low bounce. The ball will scoot, right? Those kind of wickets are sort of dangerous in the sense like you as a batting unit, right? You need to know where the ball will pitch. ये वाला जो pitch है, it's spicy, but as a batsman, you are not looking at variable bounce, correct? The bounce is steady, the bounce is still good. If the batsman can't play pace bowling, that is a different problem. That is technique, right? We're not talking about technique. आपके पिच में, पर्थ वाले पिच में, the ball is not going, like ऐसा नहीं कि एक बॉल नीचे तरफ चला गया, एक ऊपर चला गया, एक सर के ऊपर गया, ऐसा नहीं होगा. Even bounce है, right? Batsman नहीं खेल पा रहा है, that is a technique and T20 effect problem, right? None of the batting teams are that talented nowadays, right? But the biggest debate on this spinning track versus fast track is only that if you are going to get a spinning track is absolutely fine, but your spinning track cannot be like the ball ka jo bounce hota hai, that cannot be variable because then you are not setting a pitch for success. ये वाले पिच में आपको टेक्निक की जरूरत पड़ेगी, आपको पेशेंस की जरूरत पड़ेगी. अनफॉर्चुनेटली नेदर इंडिया नॉर ऑस्ट्रेलिया शोर कि उनके पास वो पेशेंस है ये पिच में खेलने के लिए. द पिच वाज नॉट द प्रॉब्लम हियर, द बैटिंग यूनिट्स वर द प्रॉब्लम. सो अगर इंडिया स्पिनिंग ट्रैक बनाना चाहता है, व्हिच इज एब्सोल्युटली ओके, नोबडी सेज कि आप स्पिनिंग ट्रैक मत बनाओ, बट आप स्पिनिंग ट्रैक बना रहे हो तो एंश्योर दैट यू कैन हैव अ सॉर्ट ऑफ अ बैलेंस between bat and ball. Honestly, India does not need rank turners to win in India, and I don't think India is going to win on rank turners. आपने देखा कि 3 टेस्ट मैच में you gave them rank turners and your result was 3-0 for a New Zealand squad, which honestly did themselves think they will win 3-0. Okay, so you cannot give rank turners because आपके खुद के players are not ready to play in rank turners. They don't play rank turners in domestic cricket. तो आप रैंक टर्नर्स देके फायदा नहीं होगा, एंड रैंक टर्नर्स आर गोइंग टू ऑलवेज हैव दिस प्रॉब्लम ऑफ वेरिएबल बाउंस. और जब वेरिएबल बाउंस होता है, बॉल स्कूट होता है, तो द पिच का रेटिंग विल गो डाउन एंड डाउन, एंड इट्स सैडली लाइक दैट इज व्हाट अ स्पिनिंग ट्रैक गेट्स यू. सो देयर इज नथिंग रॉन्ग इन गिविंग अ स्पिनिंग ट्रैक, but you cannot have a ball spin from day one because for the ball to spin from day one, the pitch has to have dust coming out or popping out, which is not good for the game of cricket. So there is absolutely nothing wrong in giving a spinning track, but you got to balance it with like a track that can give you spin from say the third day or something like that, not from zero ball, right? It's not going to work because zero balls aap karoge to it has to be a very poor kind of pitch for you to get the ball to spin from day one. So that is the only aspect you need to look. But yes, that debate will not go away, Rahul, to be honest. It'll
absolutely. So and again आज बड़ा एक अच्छा एक छोटा रिव्यू हम लोगों ने किया, अपने अपने थॉट्स रखे, और इसी तरीके से हम आगे के दिनों में भी डे एंड के रिव्यू के ऊपर कनेक्ट होंगे और क्या अपना एनालिसिस है वो चीज शेयर करेंगे और डिस्कस करेंगे. आज के समय के लिए आप दोनों का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. कल फिर मैच के बाद में आपसे मुलाकात होगी.
एक ही बात कहूंगा, एक इम्पोर्टेंट बात, देखो मैच अगर 2 दिन में खत्म होगा तो आईपीएल का ऑप्शन है 24. So I think everything is going towards like everybody is safely sitting and watching the auction कि कौन सा player कितने में जाने वाला है, because the auction is a pretty big one that's happening. It's happening on 24th and 25th, which is like Sunday and Monday, right? अगर ऐसे ही चलता गया और मैच 2 दिन में खत्म हो गया तो वही ऑप्शन भी आराम से देख लो, हर प्लेयर बैठ के आराम से देखेगा कि भाई अपना नंबर कहाँ आएगा करके. सो लेट्स नॉट फॉरगेट दैट इज हैपनिंग.
और उस आईपीएल ऑप्शन के ऊपर भी हम लोग डिटेल में बात करेंगे कि कौन सी टीम किस तरीके से अपने प्लेयर्स को फॉर्म करती है और कैसा टीम कॉम्बिनेशन हर एक टीम का बैठता है. चलिए, आज के डिस्कशन के लिए आप दोनों का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. कल के मैच के बाद में फिर मुलाकात होगी.
थैंक यू. बाय मेट.
थैंक यू. बाय.
ओके, रिकॉर्ड लाइव.